Hey guys, it's Arie here, my website, safariarie.ca. For those of you who don't realize, I'm currently attempting to bike west across Canada during a Canadian winter. I started in Newfoundland November 12th, and currently I am in Englishtown, Nova Scotia, and I think it's December 3rd or 4th. I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyways, my website is safariarie.ca, Safari the way it's spelt, and then Arie.ca. Anyways, just doing a quick video of my clothing gear as of to date, as far as the weather goes. I just did finish crossing Newfoundland in November. I feel I got pretty lucky with weather compared to what a lot of people were saying about the weather in Newfoundland. I think I got pretty lucky. And I sort of feel like I'm at basically the temperatures, I don't think the temperatures got colder than -5. So the temperatures would have been just above freezing to the coldest point of -5. And so I sort of feel like this is kind of the first stage of dealing with cold weather and base layers and whatnot, and I'm guessing and thinking that -5 to -10 is kind of the next level, which I haven't experienced as of yet on this bike ride, so that will probably require an additional video as far as my clothing and how I'm dealing with it. But I thought, so above freezing to -5, I thought that was a pretty good category to maybe just do a quick video with my clothing gear. So this is I'm just going to sort of wing it and see how this works. As you can see, I'm in my professional studios in Englishtown. Actually, no, I'm at some friend's house, and it's been an amazing few days just to chill and take it easy, but obviously got to work on some content and whatnot. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to see if I can pull this off in my quote-unquote bedroom and see how it turns out. So I am going to turn this camera on my gear, and we'll see how we can pull this off. So as far as socks goes, just regular winter socks, wool socks, whatever. I have looks like I have about 5 pair. Yeah, 5 pair with me. I actually also have a pair of waterproof socks. I have actually used them. I should probably be using them more often than I have, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Anyways, merino wool boxers, underwear, pretty straightforward. Now this is the interesting part, is that I have been wearing these, I guess we'll call them long johns. I got them from a company called Wiggies out of Grand Junction, Colorado. That's Wiggies, WIGGYS.com, and they are a fishnet type material, and I think they have been making all the difference. I'm not 100% sure what this fabric is. It's obviously meant to be some type of wicking material, and truthfully it's been working great. I think what it sort of does is the fabric is doing its job by wicking the material, but then it also leaves a small barrier between me and whatever clothing, like my flesh and whatever clothing is on top of it. And I think that's just helping, preventing any wetness against my body. I mean, obviously the merino wool is always pulling the moisture away, but I'm not an expert on this kind of stuff, and so I sort of feel that maybe this is putting a small barrier between the cloth and my skin. And so anyways, I've then, like I said, over my underwear I wear this. And then the other discovery that that I made, I can't really film these very well because these are biking shorts and they've got the padded area in the crotch, but I am not one of those biking nerds that wear bike gear at all. You'll never ever in my lifetime catch me with biking shoes or spandex, but I was introduced to these shorts that you wear under your clothing, and I said, heck, I'll try that, and it has worked absolutely amazing. So glad I purchased them. I think they were like $100, so they weren't cheap. Actually, just swing over here, and then basically then I have these pants. These are just, you know, they're supposed to be, you know, quick drying technology type pants. Not that I need them at this time of year to zip into shorts, but historically this is what I've kind of biked into, so I can always take the pant legs off and turn them into shorts if I need to. So that is basically my clothing as far as below the waist. As of this moment, I have not been putting on standard regular long johns. I haven't needed to do so. But we'll get to my sleeping gear in a second. So now we're going to talk about what I wear as a top. So once again, pardon me, sorry, I realize I'm not very professional at this. I have this fishnet top, where obviously I also got it from wiggies.com, and once again I feel that it creates a bit of a barrier between my skin and my standard merino wool. Actually, let me just throw that to the side for a second, because over that I have just a standard long sleeve merino wool, which is obviously wicking material. It pulls the moisture away from the body. But like obviously when I'm climbing hills, completely loaded in clothing, I do sweat a heck of a lot. And I do feel the moisture, but very quickly that moisture dissipates. And I'm too scared to test it, but even though this is meant to pull the moisture away, I feel that there's still a period where this is wet against your skin. And like I said, I feel this fishnet creates a small barrier which keeps the moisture from this shirt off my skin. So anyways, I don't know, I'm not an expert. And then I just have an additional merino wool, kind of an outer shirt. Actually, I don't think it's merino, it's more of a synthetic, but it's just more of a casual shirt, so I don't look like I'm in my pajamas. Anyways, that is, and then, actually I guess I can turn this on me for a second. Anyways, then I actually wear this hoodie, just a standard regular hoodie. It's actually the hoodie that I did my first ride in. I can't believe 11 years later it's still in great shape. So I guess I'll call it my good luck hoodie. So I wear this hoodie on top of all that, and then I wear a Gore-Tex jacket that's actually getting kind of old, and if the temperatures get warm enough, then I'll take the Gore-Tex off and strap that to my to my pannier or whatever. And then that is basically my outer gear. So now, I guess maybe what I'll mention also is, at this stage, because it's not horribly cold, it was recommended that I change out of my daily riding gear and into sleeping gear, so not to sleep in the same gear that I'm riding in. So I'll switch again. And so what I do for sleeping, the bottoms, I have a pair of, notice this doesn't focus sometimes so well. I have a pair of typical standard long johns, merino wool, and then I put on these jogging pants. The jogging pants are nothing really special. But anyways, so that's, and then I also have like a spare pair of socks. So I swap out my socks. I swap out my my riding pants and the fishnet for another pair of long johns and jogging pants. As far as sleeping top, I actually do sleep in my black merino wool top. I take the fishnet off. I sleep in this, and then I also put my hoodie back on, and so that's what I've been sleeping in. And so right now, because temperatures haven't been horrendous, yeah, I change in and out of these clothing in my tent in the evening, which is not too bad because moving around I've created a fair amount of heat in the tent. It's not like I need to get myself in my sleeping bag like instantly. In the morning it's a little bit of a different story. It's obviously the temperatures have dropped throughout the night. It's pretty cold. Some of the clothing I will bring in my sleeping bag to help keep warm. Some of it I keep outside to help air out. But yeah, that's probably the psychological test, is getting out of that stinking sleeping bag in the cold weather and stripping out of my sleeping gear and putting on my riding gear. There was something else I was going to mention that flashed in my head, and I'm having a brain fart. What the heck was it? What the heck was it? You're not supposed to have a brain fart on video. Anyway, what I was going to say, I guess, is, like I said, currently right now I change out of my clothing. I don't know what and that's the thing, if anyone's watching that they have some suggestions, that -5 to -10 sort of seems like the next level. I don't know if I'm going to have the courage to switch my clothing, but I guess we'll take it by day. I mean, at the same time, as time goes, I'm also getting more accustomed to the cold weather and whatnot. And I realized what I was going to say. So getting back to my base layers, I feel like I've never really done this, never biked in the winter, so I don't have a tremendous amount of experience as far as, how these base layers work. I mean, I realize obviously as you warm up, you take layers off. As you cool down, you put layers back on. That being said, biking Newfoundland was extremely mountainous, and so the amount of sweat that I sweated in a given day, it was phenomenal. And that being said, everything is very isolated. I went the longest that I've ever gone without a shower. I think it was 12 days. And that's a long time to go without a shower when you're sweating most of the day. And I have to be honest, when I went to bed at night, I didn't realize that I didn't shower. I feel the base layers did an absolutely amazing job. Because like I said, I did not feel like I was, I went 12 days without a shower. So like I said, due to my lack of experience, I'm going to give credit to these fishnet layers, because and like I said, I don't have the courage to test that, because if I don't put these fishnet base layers on and I get 20 minutes down the road and it feels like crap and I'm out and exposed, there's no way I'm stripping down to my birthday suit to put on some fishnet clothing. So I have no courage to test this theory that this fishnet base layers are working as well as they do. But I mean, basically what you've seen more or less is all my gear. Like I think I said, I have 5 or 6 pairs of regular underwear. I have 5 pairs of socks. And I have a t-shirt that I had as a souvenir. And so when I did my laundry after those 12, when I did my laundry, basically I had just enough clothing to put on a fresh pair of underwear and a fresh pair of socks I also, sorry, and I do have a second pair of pants, just because of the you know, being winter. Normally I wouldn't carry a second pair of pants, but I had my second pair of pants, clean pair of socks, clean pair of underwear, my t-shirt, and I was able to do, and I just had enough laundry to do everything and whatnot. So I kind of feel like the amount of clothing that I grabbed is that I've brought for this trip has been so far so good. I do have a secondary winter coat that's kind of an extra large, so it can actually go on top of my Gore-Tex if I need it for when it does get colder, because I realize the Gore-Tex is not going to be sufficient when it, you know, the temperatures even get colder. The one part of my gear that is failing miserably, though I knew it would eventually, is for the last, well, for my entire life, adulthood life, I've worn steel toe boots. My first tour, I rode with the steel toe boots. I wear the exact same style year after year after year. You don't need to send comments about steel toe boots in winter. I'm already 100% aware of that. The reason I'm cycling with the steel toe boots currently is because, as you can imagine, between the bike and the website and the gear, I've spent umpteen thousands of dollars getting this ride ready as quickly as possible. And I wasn't about to go spend a couple $100 more on some boots when I had a perfectly good pair of boots on my feet. I knew that when the time came, it was just a matter of, you know, riding to the next city to replace those boots when it either got too cold. Now, the cold has not been the issue. The issue has been the rain. My boots are failing miserably because they get completely soaked, and because they are the steel toe boots. If I wasn't lucky enough to have a place to actually dry them out properly, it would take days and days for them to dry out. So anyways, I believe there's a bike shop 170 kilometers due west from where I am, and I've already been messaging him, and he's got a pair of waterproof boots, it looks like. So I will be swapping out my steel toe boots for some more proper winter type boots. So anyways, like I said, you can save the comments about steel toe boots in the winter.